I have been silent since Wednesday because the greatest time of the year has happened. It's coming, it's gone now. The NFL draft has happened, it's over. And, you know, this is the greatest time of the year because this time of the year we see all these teams have hope for the first and probably last time for the rest of this season. But, hey, either way, positives only here. Every team has hope in the NFL draft. It just doesn't turn out well for most of them, okay? That's really the point here. Either way, I haven't said anything about the draft since it happened, and today I'm going to be ranking every single team's draft on a tier list, seeing who had the best draft, who had the worst draft, and all things in between. Now, it's all subjective. It's all my opinion. I think players are better than others, and other people don't think. So, remember, opinions are like, well, you've probably heard it before. They all stink, and we all have them. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. Either way, before we get in this video, let me remind you to check out w.gg. These are my energy drinks. I love them. That's the website, w.gg. They're delicious. They're cost-effective. They're delicious. Just go ahead and check them out. There's a link in the description, and let's get right into this video. I suppose I forgot to mention, I have a discount code, 10% off on W's. Check it out. Either way, this will start off, we will go kind of by alphabetical order-ish. So starting off with the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals had, I think, a really good draft. We'll put them in good for now. Obviously taking Walter Nolan in the first round, picking up on Will Johnson in the second round as a guy who fell mighty far, and then Jordan Burch, another really good edge rusher. They cleaned up their defense in this, and they needed to. They're one of the worst rosters in the NFL, and they played a lot better than their roster was last year. So getting this level of talent for a team that was drafting in a position that wasn't all that bad, not a bad thing. They also picked up Cody Simon, Denzel Burke, and back-to-back picks from Ohio State. They also got Hayden Conner from Texas and Keaton Crawford from Nevada. Those are all their picks in this draft. One pick in each round. I give them, you know, a relatively good grade. I'll give them like a A-, B+, something like that. I'm not really going to give teams grades like that, but they're going to fit on this tier list in the good tier. That's for sure. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be a little bit of a hot take here, but I think it's fine. That's about it. Maybe even Actually, I'm going to go and it's really because of one pick. They picked up Jalen Walker. That's a good value. He was supposed to go top 10. He went to number 15. They got him. Great, good. They needed edge rushers. But then they traded back into round 1 at number 26 and got James Pierce Jr. But the problem is, let me see if I have it here. They gave up their first rounder next year to get James Pierce Jr., a guy who I don't feel like he is a game breaker, and you just traded and gave 2 first rounders up to a first rounder next year and a second rounder. Yeah, I just don't understand why you do that. There was so much on the table, on the board. You did not have to trade up to get James Pierce. I understand you have not been able to figure out your edge rusher position, but that was a stupid move in my opinion. Xavier Watts in the third round, pretty good pick. Billy Bowman, back-to-back safeties, a little bit questionable. I mean, he's definitely just a depth piece for them. And Jack Nelson in the 7th, not bad, but this James Pierce trade just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's not great. That's all I can say. Moving on. Baltimore Ravens, generally a fabulous drafting team. I'm not as high on their class this year. I think they got a couple good picks. I'll put them in solid. A couple good picks up top. Malachi Starks, he's one of those that I was like, oh my gosh, the Ravens really just got this guy again. But Mike Green, he fell. And, you know, good player value because he was supposed to be a first rounder. They got him at 59 overall. But at the same time, there are his issues, and to be completely honest, the Ravens can just never get the edge position right. They just can't do it for whatever reason. Odafe Owe really hasn't worked out, and it's just what it is with them at this point. So I don't know what to say about that other than, you know, they did fine, solid, good. I'll put them in solid. That's good. You know, Carson Vincent and Teddy Buchanan, they're fine. Emory Jones, I did like that pick. But then, you know, the only other really notable pick they had after I'd say Emory Jones was I like the Aeneas Peebles from Virginia Tech in the 6th round. I really do like that pick. I don't know how to say his name. I just like the player, okay? But I think it was a good draft. It wasn't great. This really should be more, let me change that to great. All right, whatever. All right, great. That should be more great. Solid is more fitting. Good, solid, you know, they're good. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll give them like a B flat. Yeah. Moving on. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, they obviously had something they were attacking. I'm solid on their draft. I think it's fine. I know a lot of people are hating on them, especially Bills fans. Maxwell Hairston, they needed a corner very badly. Good pickup at the slot. You had him at number 30. TJ Sanders, maybe a little bit of a reach, but if you like him over other D tackles who were available, so be it. I'm in my opinion, I don't have a problem with TJ Sanders as a player, and if they had a preference over him over a couple other guys, there was nobody on the board that I thought it was a criminal to take him over that other person. Landon Jackson, really good pick. I didn't think he was going to be available in round 3, and he lasted a lot longer. He's a great edge rusher. They have a lot of edge rushers. That's the only thing I don't understand about this pick. They have Rousseau, Miller, Jackson, Epinesa still there. And granted, some of these guys can move inside, but still, either way. Deone Walker, I thought was a very good pickup. I mean, he's not the strongest guy, especially for his size, but if you can get him working, he can be great. And I'm really a big fan of the Caden Prather pickup at the 7th round. Just kind of skip over. I'll give them like a B+. I think that's pretty good. These tiers, like, I may have Buffalo over Baltimore technically, but I'm not going to fix the tiers up, just by the way. The Carolina Panthers, I think they had probably a great draft. Honestly, they get an elite draft from me. I think the Panthers did phenomenal. Whether or not you like Ted McMillan, I don't really care. I don't really care at all, actually. The point, in my opinion, for this pick is simply the fact that they have Bryce Young, who finally showed flashes. He finally showed flashes. You have to capitalize and get this guy as much help as you can to do anything this coming year to be your quarterback of the future. He's not proven that much yet. He's just proven to be maybe potentially decent. Ted McMillan is the guy you get to do those things. Not to mention, they have also had a struggle picking up on edge rushers, so they went ahead and got 2 of them in a row. Nick Scourton and Princey Umanmielen. Love them both as players, prospects. Think they could be very good NFL players. And they got them both at really good draft value, in my opinion. No problem with those at all. Trevor Etienne, not a bad pick. I think that's a little bit of a, that's a fine place for him to go. And I'm going to tell you, my favorite pick of their entire draft has not even been talked about yet. 6th round pick, 5th round pick, 163 overall, Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame. They needed a big tight end. They got a big tight end. This guy went so much farther down than I expected him to. This draft is weird, let me tell you. I think this draft was, obviously quarterback-wise, not great. Player-wise, there wasn't very many great blue-chip prospects. But we had 4.5, 5 rounds. Not that necessarily they went all in the top 5, but Mitchell Evans is the guy who went in the 5th round. Probably should have gone in the 3rd round, in my opinion, if not higher. But there was 4.5 rounds worth of players that are good prospects, good potential NFL players. I'm really high on their draft class between McMillan, Scourton, Umanmielen, Etienne, even Evans and Ransom and Horn, all of them good. They get an A+ for me. Moving down to the Bears. No, fine. They didn't do anything stupid. They had 1 first and 3 seconds, and then a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. But first off, Colston Loveland, I don't understand why in the world they took him. Yes, I understand. He's going to be a slot. He's not really going to be your tight end. They're going to use Kmet as their tight end. He's going to play in the slot a lot, but just trade down, man. Like, trade down. Like, this is another example of Ryan Poles, who you guys thought was so stinking good. He's an idiot. He's a terrible GM, and I don't understand how anybody can stand over him. Like, you paid Cole Kmet $13 million a year, basically, and now you're going to pay Colston Loveland. Luther Burden, I'm fine with that pick. There's no problem there. I think that's good value and everything. Ozzie Trapillo, I don't know about him. That's a bit of a stretch there. Shamar Turner, good pick. And that's about it. I like Zoff Frazier in the 5th. That's another one. But really their first few rounds were just like, what are we doing? Like, Colston Loveland, what are you doing? Ozzie Trapillo, what are you doing? It just doesn't make sense. This draft was it was fine. Like, at least you got good players. I'll give you that. But, like, what are you doing? They get like a B- or a C+. I don't know. Bengals. Mediocrity. Mediocrity, excuse me. LOL. Funny. Hilarious. Shamar Stewart, such a Bengals pick. He's not going to do anything. Yes, he can jump out of a gym and he can run really fast. His RAS score was a perfect 10. Whoop-de-freaking-do. This guy sucks at football. Pressures, 0. Sacks, 1 a year, 3 a year, whatever it is. No production. Just all, yay, he runs fast. He could be athlete. Good, wonderful, hallelujah. What are we doing? No. Demetrius Knight, overdrafted. Dylan Fairchild, probably overdrafted, though not horrible. Barrett Carter, I'll give you good value on that one. I like that a lot. In the 4th round, absolutely. Taj Brooks in the 6th, like that pick as well. But none of these guys stand out. These are not game changers, difference makers whatsoever. One way or another, not happening. Down to the Cleveland Browns, and I guess we have to take a little bit of time to talk about this team, don't we? So, starting off, they picked 2. They traded down with the Jaguars to pick at 5. Number 1, you traded off of Travis Hunter. I think that is an idiot move. Idiot move. Mason Graham, good player. Don't have a problem with him at all. It's nothing about him. It's the fact that you traded off of a potentially generational talent. 2 of them, actually. Not only Travis Hunter, but also Abdul Carter. You're an idiot, Cleveland. But at the same time, who is surprised, okay? Carson Schlesinger, I don't think he was a second-round player at all. I don't know what they're doing there. Judkins, they got him at 36. Maybe a little early, but nothing to cough at. Good player. Don't worry about it. I'm nitpicking there. Harold Fannin, I'm not a big fan of, but they picked him at 67 overall in the 3rd round. Fine value. I'd much rather would have had Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame, but whatever. Dillon Gabriel, that's kind of where the conversation picks up, right? 3rd round, Dillon Gabriel. Who was on the board? Shedeur Sanders. Round 5, they pick up Shedeur Sanders as their last pick. They trade up to get Shedeur Sanders. And here's my thing. Obviously, the Shedeur fall is the big storyline. I'm not going to talk about it too much because the only thing that we're hearing about right now is the Shedeur Sanders fall. I don't think it's a surprise that he fell. Yes, to the 5th round, it is a surprise. But 1st round, he's not a 1st-round talent. He may not even be a 2nd-round talent in this draft. May not. Maybe in the back end. Whatever. The quarterback is a very important position, so that then you can bring him back up a little bit because just the weight of that. But obviously, he as a person, the personality was a problem. There's obviously an issue there. And I think at this point, you now have 5 quarterbacks. Yes, the value alone, the pickup for Shedeur Sanders in terms of the player to the pick, is pretty good. 5th rounder for a probably 2nd to 3rd round quarterback is pretty good. However, no one, and I repeat, no one wants a celebrity backup. That is a true statement that has always happened. The reason Colin Kaepernick hasn't gotten a job is mostly because of football, because he's not good at it, but also because people don't want the media trouble of a backup quarterback. Tim Tebow had the same issue. People didn't want the media around him as their backup. Shedeur Sanders, he's going to bring the media around him, and nobody wants that. No one at all. I don't understand what they're doing here. Obviously, you're still paying Watson. You've got Flacco on the roster. You got Pickett, and now you have 2 quarterbacks that you drafted. You're going to make Dillon Gabriel look like a fool because you're going to have to try to put Shedeur over him, or the whole world's going to break loose. This was a mediocrity draft to the utmost extent. I like Sampson. I like Judkins. I like Graham. But the rest of it is just about as stupid as you could come. I don't even mind Gabriel in the 3rd to a point, other than the fact that now you took 2 quarterbacks and they look stupid for doing it. Cleveland is Cleveland, though. You can't expect anything else. They get an F, an absolute F. Yes, the value for Shedeur wasn't that bad, but the situation changes everything. It absolutely does. Dallas Cowboys pick up Tyler Booker. They pick up Donovan Ezeraku, Siobhan Revel, Jaden Blue, Ajani Cornelius, Phil Maffa. I am a fan of this draft. They did a solid job. I don't think they hit all the needs that Jerry Jones lied about drafting receivers, so there is that problem. But Booker, they just lost Martin. Good pickup. Now, he's going to be a wall, but he's not going to move. So, plus minus, you got some up and down there. Donovan Ezeraku, they needed another edge rusher after losing Lawrence. Good job. Siobhan Revel, a good depth piece for them for now. Jaden Blue, they have Javonte Williams, so I assume Jaden Blue's going to get a lot of play. Ajani Cornelius could be a rotational guy up to a starter eventually. I'm a fan of the draft. They got a good picks. It's just not amazing. Nothing stands out like crazy, but solid pick. I do think Tyler Booker was probably overdrafted. You could have traded down 10 to 15 spots and drafted him later, but oh well, you got your guy, and he's not a bad player by any means. A guard's just not that important. But hey, pick number 12, pick number 44, not too bad. They get like a BB plus from me. Denver Broncos. I'm a fan of this draft for the most part. Let me say. I'm gonna put him in great. I think it's fine. Jahdae Barron, huge Jahdae Barron fan. They just got their defense even better. RJ Harvey, overdrafted, 100% overdrafted. He went at 60 overall. I think there was a lot of running backs on the board way better than him. However, he fits the scheme that Sean Payton loves to run. He likes his receiving backs, and that is what this guy is. He can run the ball. Don't get me wrong. He's absolutely a good runner, but he is a dynamic receiver. And there was no one on the board who is a receiver like he is. So I give him that. Pat Bryant, Slightly overdrafted, but not bad. I'm a fan of it. It's for the most part. Savion Jones, pretty good pick. Quay Robinson, pretty good pick. Really solid. I think they're about, I don't think they deserve a great, really. I just don't. I think they get about a B, but love the Jahdae Barron. RJ Harvey, he's your guy. Take him. Take him. Absolutely. B+. I'll give him B+. Detroit Lions. I like this draft. Weird draft. Very weird draft, but I like it. Tyleik Williams. Little early. Good player. I don't understand the fit, though. The only thing is, Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Tyleik, he's fourth. We're going to put him at fourth. So what are we getting all these D tackles for? Surely there's a plan in mind. There's too much there for me to not think that they have a plan. So I'm going to give him credit for that. Tate Ratledge, wonderful value, wonderful pick. At 57 in the second round, perfect, wonderful, good job. Isaac Tesla, overdrafted in my opinion, but hey, woo pig. I'm a Hogs fan, so woo pig. I love it. And good athlete. He is a Detroit player, though. He's also from Michigan. That's a huge bonus, but he is a Detroit player. Physical, disgusting, nasty, willing to do all the dirty work. He's going to be an ace on your special teams, dude. Have fun with that. Miles Frazier, good value. Love the Dan Jackson pick. Another Detroit pick. Good draft overall. I'm a fan. Not perfect, but, A- material for sure. Moving on to Green Bay. It's fine. I'm going to put him in fine. I'm just not a huge fan. Matthew Golden, good pick, I guess, but not really blowing me out of the water at all. I don't think Matthew Golden's as good of a prospect as people realize. Anthony Belton, good value there. Savion Williams in third round, good value there. Baron Sorrell, fine pick. I'm okay with it. Colin Oliver, okay. Brinson, okay. Just a lot of fine. Not this. I will say they're better than the Bears. It's hard to put them on the same tier as the Bears, but I don't feel like. I guess I'll put them in solid. I'll put them in solid. They're kind of a drop down, but like no wow picks here. None at all. Only wow thing that happened was the fact they did pick a receiver in the first round. But at the same time, I feel like we always kind of thought this was going to happen this year. Anyways, Houston Texans. Fine. I'm not a fan of this draft. They had 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a fourth, 2 sixths, 2 sevenths. They had a weird draft slot. Jaden Higgins on Ariante Ursery were their second round picks. Love Jaden Higgins. Good job. Ariante Ursery, fine job. Not a problem. Jalen Noel in the third. That's 3 Iowa State receivers in like 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is. But them two and Xavier Hutchinson. I think he wasn't a rookie last year, was he? I don't know. It's been a minute. Weird. Not anything wrong with it, just kind of strange that all these Iowa State receivers. Jalen Smith was overdrafted in my opinion, so was Woody Marks. Jalen Reed was a good pick. Mertz was overdrafted. And, for the most part, it was a fine draft. I really do like the Luke Lashy pick. I don't know exactly how you say his name. And the 7th round, their very last pick. But just a very uninteresting draft this whole year. So give him like a C+. Just not really interesting. There was a lot of players they missed out on, I feel like. Indianapolis Colts. I'm not usually a fan of Colts drafts, but they're getting a great from me. Tyler Warren, perfect. You couldn't have landed a better Colt, just to be honest. JT Tuomalau, wonderful. You lost an edge rusher. You get an edge rusher that's probably better than the guy you had. Move on. Justin Wally was probably severely overdrafted, but he was like a 5th rounder in my book, and he went in the 3rd and closer to the earlier part of the 3rd, so I'm not sure about that one. Jalen Travis in the 4th, love it. DJ Giddens in the 5th, love it a ton. Riley Leonard, Tim Smith, fine. Hunter Wohler, fine. Not a Riley Leonard fan. That's really it. He went in the 6th, so it's not so bad, but he went over some quarterbacks that just shouldn't have happened. There's quarterbacks on the board that there's no way you just took Riley Leonard over these 2 quarterbacks. I'll talk about later. But that's a big storyline as well. They clearly also like this one kind of quarterback that clearly sucks. And so I don't know what they're doing. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, Riley Leonard. Guys who have incredibly strong arms but 0 arm talent. Don't know what they're doing. Moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars. And I just say I don't know what they're doing simply for their quarterback room. Jacksonville Jaguars, I love this. I love it a lot. They had a ton of picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. And they traded away their second. And they traded away their first next year, but they got an elite player. Go ahead and give them an elite draft class. 2 teams that usually suck getting elite draft classes, that's crazy. Actually, I am going to pull them down. They're going to great. You get Travis Hunter, wonderful. You got 2 players for the price of 1, wonderful. Caleb Ransall, good pick. I think he was overdrafted a hair, but not too bad. Wyatt Milam in the 3rd. Don't know how he got there. I thought he was a surefire 2nd rounder. Good job. Bashal Tootin in the 4th. Congratulations. Just the only problem is you don't have a running back that's going to beat out Bigsby or ETN, and so I don't really know what Tootin's supposed to do. Jack Kaiser, good pick. And then in the last couple rounds, they got Jonah Monheim and LaQuint Allen. Good picks there. Give them like an A- to an A. Really good draft. Just not amazing, I don't think. I think there were some middle-level guys they could have gotten that would have exponentially increased this draft class. Moving on to the Chiefs. I hate to say it, man. They got an elite draft class. Josh Simmons, great value, 32 overall. Omar Norman Lott at 63, wonderful value. Ashton Jalot, overdrafted, but not too bad. That was a fine pick. Noel Williams, good pick in the 3rd round. Jalen Royals, fabulous pick in the 4th round. That was a 2nd-round receiver right there. Jeffrey Bossa, good pick. Brashard Smith, good pick. That's an elite draft. I don't say any more because I don't want to talk about it. The Raiders. I like this draft. I think they go in great. Ashton Jeanty, good pick, no doubt about it. Jack Besh, a little overdrafted. Still love the player. Good job. Thought he could have gone in the 3rd, but hey, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was a little bit higher than I thought. Darian Porter, love it. You switch him and Jack Besh around, this becomes the best draft in the league because I just thought that was a better fit. But then again, I mean, that would have just made me more in my expectations. I thought Porter was a 2nd, Besh was a 3rd, or a late 2nd at least. Caleb Rogers, fine. Charles Grant, good. I like that. Dante Thornton, solid value. J.J. Pegues in the 6th round is wonderful. They get the only problem I have here is in the 6th round they drafted Cam Miller, the quarterback from North Dakota State. There's 2 quarterbacks on the board here that I don't understand how in the world you took this guy over either of them. Or I think they were still on the board here. Either way, we'll talk about them later. Chargers. I'm going to give them solid, okay? They got saved by one thing down the board here. But Amarian Hampton, love the player. You just brought in Najee Harris. What are you doing? Why did you just pay Najee? That makes 0 sense. Trey Harris. Love Trey Harris. Love him. Love him as a receiver. Love just about everything about him. Jamari Caldwell. Great job as well. Good pick. Wonderful. Aronda Gadsden. I think that is a good value pick in round 5. However, you missed on Mitchell Evans. That's a wonky one there. And R.J. Mickens from Clemson in the 6th is a great pick. So that's a good one. Really good draft, just not amazing. I think they're solid. It's a B-plus draft, B draft maybe. The Rams. Very limited picks. They had, 6 picks here? I'm going to give them great just because of what they had. Terrence Ferguson, they finally got a tight end prospect that can do something. And I love the fit of Ferguson with McVay. That's a great fit. I like Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. I like that fit a lot. And I like Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss going in the round 5. Thought he could have gone up to round 3, so that's a really good value. Really good draft from them. Give them like a A-. Think it's very solid. The Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, they get an elite draft class because Kenneth Grant, a massive need, a massive player, and a talented player. Go. Jonas Savaianea, massive need, massive player, wonderful. 2 for 2. Jordan Phillips, massive need, big player, not massive, but good fill-up, right? You got your 2 defensive tackles that are going to start. Dante Trader, Jason Marshall, good depth or rotational starters. Good job. Ollie Gordon, your goal line back, wonderful job. Quinn Ewers. He's one of the guys I've been talking about. How in the world did Quinn Ewers go this late? I don't know. I am a big Quinn Ewers fan. It's well documented. In my opinion, in terms of arm talent, this is the 2nd best quarterback in this class. In terms of arm talent, yes, he had his issues at Texas, injuries, fumbling. I don't know. You can't explain to me how he went in the 7th. He's better than guaranteed all but no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind he's better than at least all of these quarterbacks outside of, I'll give you Cam Ward. I don't think you can argue that Shedeur Sanders is better than. There's nothing Sanders does better than Quinn Ewers, in my opinion. Nothing. He might move a little better in terms of running, but that's it. That is it. I don't know there's much that Will Howard does better. I don't know there's much that Dylan Gabriel does nothing better than him. Jackson Dart probably doesn't do anything better than him other than run. That's about it. I don't know, man. I don't know how he goes this low. Don't understand it at all. Zeke Biggers, not the biggest fan of that pick, but hey, you get incredible value down the board. And not to mention, Quinn Ewers is going to play for this team because Tua will get hurt. So, you got yourself a starter. Moving on from there, the Minnesota Vikings. Not the biggest fan of this draft. I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong. Donovan Jackson was overdrafted, in my opinion. They kind of needed him, but they also didn't really, really need him. There was other needs I felt were bigger. Ty Felton, from Maryland. Solid pick. Whatever. Tyron Ingram Dawkins, good night. Fine pick. Kobe King, fine pick. Gavin Bartholomew, pretty good pick. I'll give them like, they're going in fine because limited players and not exciting at all, but I'll still give them like a B. That's fine. This ain't elite ain't A's and great ain't B's and solid ain't C's. It's all kind of different. It's all subjective. Patriots, elite draft. Woo! Elite draft. Absolutely elite. This is a Mike Vrabel masterclass. Will Campbell, massive need, great player. Boom. One of the few blue chips in this class. Travion Henderson, massive need, change of pace from Ramondre Stevenson. Gonna be a locker room guy. Wonderful. Kyle Williams, wonderful pick. Wonderful pick. Jared Wilson, wonderful pick. Not so big on Craig Woodson. Joshua Farmer, wonderful pick. Braden Swinson, wonderful pick. They drafted a kicker. New England always does, it feels like. Cool. Marcus Bryant, Julian Ashby, Kobe Minor around their draft class. Just a wonderful pick. You got to help your quarterback out. They've spent 4 straight picks helping their quarterback out. New left tackle, new center, new running back, new wide receiver. Fabulous job. Love it all. New Orleans Saints. I'm fine with their draft. This is another, like Vikings, subjective. Kelvin Banks, great pick. Wonderful pick. Tyler Shook. I'm fine with Tyler Shook. I think that is here's the thing. He probably should have gone later, but I'm not upset about this position either. If they liked him, because Will Howard, Tyler Shook, Quinn Ewers, I prefer Quinn Ewers to them all, but to those guys. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. But at the same time, if you like one or the other a little bit better, I get it, I guess. I mean, take them, whatever, I don't care. Vernon Broughton was good. Stutzman was good. Quincy Riley, good. Devin Neal, good. Fadil Diggs, good. Like all those guys. Good job. Good draft. It's fine. Give him like a B+. It's just like not a lot of excitement. Shug is the only real excitement here but he's also not at all exciting. I don't know. Really strange there. Giants. I think it's a pretty good class, man. I really do. Not a big fan of the Giants. I'm going to move him down to great. Abdul Carter, very good pick. Best player on the board, go ahead and take him. Jackson Dart, not a huge Dart guy, but if he's your guy, go ahead. They got the 5th-year option tacked on the end. They traded back up into the first, really, and they still got him, so wonderful. Darius Alexander, good pick. Scatterbo, love it. Marcus Mbo, great pick. 5th round, I don't know how he was there. Really good draft. I'll give him like a B+, A-. Not a bad pick at all. Not a bad set of picks. New York Jets, solid. Armand Mimbu, solid. Mason Taylor, overdrafted, but fine. Isaiah Thomas, solid, yeah. Arian Smith, pretty good. Malachi Moore, pretty good. Yeah, good draft. Nothing wrong with it. Like B+. Philadelphia Eagles, how do they freaking do this again? I don't know, man. Jahad Campbell falls all the way to him. Of course he does. Of freaking course he does. Great pick. Makuba, great pick. Ty Robinson, great pick. Mac McWilliams, great pick. Smell Munden, great pick. Kyle McCord, good pick. I don't understand him going in front of Howard or Ewers whatsoever. That's me. Cameron Williams, great flyer. Wonderful flyer. It's the Eagles. They get nothing other than an A. Pittsburgh Steelers, great draft. Wonderful draft. Yes, I'm a Steelers fan. This is the perfect draft class for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no other mock that could have been better. No Shedeur in the first, no Shedeur in the third. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't deal with these idiots like Shedeur. Derek Harmon, magnificent player. Gonna start day 1 in the Larry Ogunjobi role, and he's gonna be Cam Hayward's replacement as long as he lives up to it, at least somewhat. Caleb Johnson, phenomenal value. I'm not the biggest Caleb Johnson guy, but at 83, there's no chance this guy should have been there. Not a chance in the world. Jack Sawyer, don't think the edge was the biggest need for Pittsburgh. However, fabulous player, fabulous value in round 4 at pick 123. Y.A. Black, great pick, great value, D-tackle, nose tackle material. Value in round 5, wonderful. He was a late 3rd, early 4th guy for me. Will Howard, phenomenal value. Don't know why he was in the 6th. He should have been in the 3rd at worst. Carson Bruner was a 5th rounder for me. Dante Kent was an undrafted guy for me, but one pick. They took a flyer on some traits. I love this draft overall, and this tells you that they're obviously expecting Aaron Rodgers to be here. Will Howard went all the way in the 6th. If they didn't, if they liked Will Howard enough to draft him, they would have taken him in the 3rd or 4th had they felt like they weren't going to get Rodgers. So they would have made sure they had their guy. So Rodgers will be here. You've got a lot of talent, a lot of holes filled. Wonderful draft. San Francisco 49ers. I'm a fan of this draft. I'm putting him in elite. Mykel Williams. Love Mykel Williams. Love him a ton. Think he is a great fit next to Nick Bosa as off the edge. Alfred Collins, great pick. Wonderful. Upton Stout, wonderful pick. C.J. West, good pick. Jordan Watkins, good pick. Jordan James, really good pick. I like that one a lot in round 5. Connor Colby, love Connor Colby. 7th rounder, That guy could even start this year, depending on this Niners O-line. After free agency, I don't exactly remember if they picked up anybody, but it wouldn't really shock me if this guy was able to get a lot of play this year because their O-line for the last few years hasn't been great. They get about a for me. Seahawks, fine. I'm not a fan of this draft. Gray Zabel, good. Like Gray Zabel, no problem there. Good job. Nicky Manwari, as big of a guy as he is, he can't tackle. Don't understand that whatsoever. It is what it is. Elijah Arroyo, overdrafted like crazy. Don't understand that one at all. Jalen Milroe, all he is terrible Justin Fields. He's a worse Justin Fields. Get out of here. Horton, good value in round 5. Damian Martinez, wonderful value in round 7. Ricky White, solid value in round 7. It's a fine draft class. This doesn't wow anybody. They traded up for Eben Ward. That's another reason why I'm not really a big fan of this. Just a very mid-class. And they really didn't help their receiver room. I mean, Horton and White, you got a lot of similarities here for Sam Darnold to do not a whole lot with. I don't really get that. Moving on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the better classes here. I'm giving them an elite grade. Emeka Egbuka, fabulous. Yeah, move Chris Godwin back out. I know he was better in the slot, but hey, you got 3 good receivers. Baker ain't going to complain. Ben Morrison, love Ben Morrison. As long as he's healthy, he'll be good. Jacob Parrish, another good one. David Walker, love it. Got to know David Walker a little bit while I worked for Central Arkansas and his FCS school. Wonderful pick, wonderful player, fabulous human being. Just a great human being. Tez Johnson in the 7th round, great value there. Thought he was maybe a 4th rounder, so that's a really good value. I give them an A+. Tennessee Titans. I am going to give them a great grade. I'm a little bit confused on their draft to a sense, but Cam Ward, love it. You wanted your, I wouldn't have taken Cam Ward. I would have taken either Hunter or Abdul Carter. And, Will Levis has really only played a year to this point. And my point is not that you have hope in Will Levis at all, so don't say that. My point is, you're not going to be good this year either way. There's no chance this team is good either way. I don't believe it one bit. They're still going to be a top 3 to 5 pick next year. Cam Ward's not changing that. So how about you put together players, really, really, really talented players, that Cam Ward is not even as good as Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter as prospect, and wait for another quarterback class. That's my only complaint here. However, they did execute well, and that's not a complaint. That was what I would have done. If you want Cam Ward, take Cam Ward. Fine with me. Whatever. Cam Ward's a good prospect, not a great one. Thought Olawafemi Oladejo, or however you say that name, thought he was overdrafted by a lot. Don't know how he went almost a whole round before Landon Jackson. Kevin Winston, fabulous value at 82. Fabulous value. Jamarr DK, not a big fan of him. Gunnar Helm, solid value there in round 4. Elike Manor, wonderful pick there. Love it. Love him a lot. So that's a great one. And then they pick up, what's his name? From Miami with Cam Ward. As a UDFA, what's his name? Xavier Restrepo. I am a massive, massive proponent of taking a receiver if you draft a quarterback, take one of their receivers. Comfort level, familiarity, help them as much as you can. If you're going to take a 1st, 2nd round quarterback, help them as much as you can. Get one of their receivers. And the fact they got him, and I mean, other than that, they did help him a ton. Gunnar Helm, Jamarr DK, Elika Ayo Manor, goodness. Jackson Slater, Khalil Mullings, they did their work to get the offense tilled up for Cam Ward. I'm a fan of that right there. Good job. And finally, the Washington Commanders, our last team. I'm going to give them they don't deserve mediocrity, honestly. They don't. But I'm not really a fan of this draft class really at all. So they're going there, but they're kind of way far ahead, but they don't fit in Huh. No one fits in Huh with the Falcons. Connerly was overdrafted. They should have taken Josh Simmons if they wanted to tackle. I guess they wanted a right tackle, but I just think he was a 2nd and 3rd round guy. Trey Amos, I like Trey Amos a lot. Good value there. Jalen Lane, Kane Medrano, and Jacory Krosky-Merritt, not floored with any of this. Just, they don't deserve LOL mediocrity, but it's fine. Very, very, very little enthusiasm for him. But either way, let me know what you think. Who had the best draft class? In my opinion, the absolute best draft class, I got to go with Philly. Pittsburgh is a close 2nd. Patriots are a close 3rd, I think. That's, I think, my top 3. Dolphins maybe 4, so really good job there, Dolphins. They usually aren't the best drafting team, but they did a really good job this year. Worst drafting team, it's either Bengals or Browns. Browns for the situation. Bengals probably got worst total player value, but either way, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next video.